Hi guys, today I want to dispel the myth of turning the hips. As we come back down to the ball, we often hear, and I've said it to people, is get your hips out the way, clear your lead hip, get your belt buckle facing the target, and they're all correct in their own right. But what I want to try and do is explain how the hips turn and how they don't turn. And one or two people often comment, the trail hip, right hip for me, must move closer to the ball as you turn through. Now that isn't correct. As I come back down to the golf ball, if I'm doing it correctly, the left side will go this way, will turn away from the golf ball, and my right side is then going to replace the position that my left side, my left hip was in. So as this goes back, you'll see that the right hip, or my right hip, doesn't go towards the ball. Yeah, it might a tiny bit, but generally speaking, it doesn't go towards the ball. Now, if I go back away from the ball, which is what you should do, you'll see Tiger Woods practicing this sort of motion when he's warming up on the practice range. It's to get that feeling that the lower half is staying back and moving back away from the golf ball. So as I push this back, you'll see it now keeps me over the golf ball. The trail hip will go back in the backswing, slide across at the start of the downswing, and then as the turn is created by that lower half weight shift, it stays behind where it was, and this maintains that angle. It's certainly not this feeling. This is incorrect. So here, it's that feeling. Now I know I've overdone that quite a lot, but it's still this feeling. It's that feeling coupled with weight shift. We have to have shift, and the shift isn't here, it's here. It's almost like that. Now you'd say, well, you haven't turned, but if I just try to keep that going, a bit of footwork there, I haven't turned. Look, I'm going to exaggerate it as much as I can. I'm not moving my head to do it. I'm trying to use that lower half, shifted across. Well, that's too lateral. You need to turn, you're not rotating. But if I keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, which forces that turn of the hips. So there's 2 pointers here. If we look at the backswing, as I go back, I would expect my trail hip, right hip for me, to have a little bit of this movement. It's going to turn a little bit back. I know Greg Norman, I think Nick Faldo sort of felt like their right pocket was going back. However, when we change direction, that then doesn't go back to where it was. It shifts across. So there's lateral movement. Immediately you change direction from up to down. And it's this lateral movement which shifts the weight, but then it's like, oh, we've got to turn. And really, if I try to turn my hips, I'm now bringing it back to my right foot, my trail foot. So let's do a little one here, and I'm going to feel like I'm just sliding. I haven't done this for some time actually, so I won't edit it. I'm just going to slide. Oh, that felt quite nice, to be fair. Let's just have a quick look on the video here. Was there much of a slide? Yeah, a decent bit. And if you watch a lot of the slow-mos with Rory and certainly Scotty Scheffler, and if you drew a line up from the edge of their lead foot there, they've really smashed that stick out of the ground with their drive. And that drive this way also keeps the club more on that slightly inward path. You see a lot of the players today, they're almost a little steep, and then you see a little drop, and that'll be because of the leg action. It's not because they're trying to drop their hands down. Absolutely isn't that. It's the lateral movement of the lower half, hips if you like. Again, the hips can't, they can move a little bit laterally, but the hips aren't doing that. Still my legs doing that. But here, lateral, we're into the ball and keep it going. What do I do now? Well, I can feel I've got to push. I've got to push with that right foot to really, well, keep it going, keep it going. And you'll see how my head stays behind that drive toward the target of that lower half. But rotation is something that we want, so we're thinking, oh, well, I've got to rotate, haven't I? I've got to turn those hips, which again is my legs doing it, but this is the program that I've put in there. I've got to rotate. So rotate here and then rotate here, and you'll see the weight starts coming back to my trail foot, which we don't want that. So it's not taught a lot, the lateral movement with the lower half. There's so much talked about rotation, been there myself, teach it myself, but we can take it a bit too literally. I've got to rotate, okay. And we just get this motion. You know, people doing this one. They're teaching this, I don't know why, because it's just twisting. It's not getting any movement through the golf ball. Go and give it a try. It will help, I promise. If you don't understand what I've been trying to explain, drop me a message and I always reply to the comments and messages. And as ever, give me a like, subscribe, share and all that stuff. And until next time, thanks very much for watching.